Here we go. Welcome everybody to Coffee with Markus. Today is March 30th and it is day 26 of the stock market crash in 2020. Today we are going to take a look at the market, see what is happening today on a Monday, and today something unusual happened, something that hasn't happened in 4 weeks. So we're going to talk about this. If you want, we can also take a look at my positions that I'm trading in the account that I set aside for trading this market crash here. And I'm here to answer your questions. Now, one of the questions that many of you ask is about the indicators. So today we're going to talk about indicators, why they work, what are the advantages of indicators, what are the limitations of indicators, what indicators am I using, how am I using this. So this will be an exciting show. Now, if this is your first time here and you're enjoying it thus far, the first few seconds here, make sure that you give me a like, a thumbs up here, and we will get started right away. I also heard you loud and clear that you didn't particularly care about this ticker here, so we will remove this in just a few moments. But I wanted to make sure that you also see how you can ask me questions and actively participate in the show besides doing it in the comments, because I know for those of you who are joining me live here, you're in luck because I see your comments, I can respond to your comments. But if you're watching the recording of the show, I want to show you and make sure that you go to askmarkus.com, and it is Markus. You see it right here. It says have a question, go to askmarkus.com, and this is where you can ask a question or look at one of the questions that is there and say, ooh, I like that question too. Please answer this. All right, let's go to the markets and let me show you what is happening here. So, gotta move this out of the way. Right now, the Dow is up 2.4%. And you might be wondering, why is the Dow up? I mean, we now have reported more than 150,000 coronavirus cases. Oh, I shouldn't say this word because then somehow YouTube is blocking me. So, cases of the nasty virus. So, we're almost at twice as many cases as China had. So why is the market rallying? Well, the reason why the market is going up today, it's pretty much shrugging it off and say, all right, what else, right? We already know it's bad. We know that it will take longer because this weekend the White House said, yeah, you know what? We probably don't reopen the economy by Easter. Realistically, it will go until April 30th that we should have the social distancing, which makes a lot of sense, right? So to contain all this, but the markets already factored all this in. We know that it is bad. And as you know, on Friday, the stimulus bill, the 2 trillion stimulus bill got into effect. And this is where right now market participants hope, yeah, you know what, maybe we will be able to restart the economy come end of April. So let's see this week what is happening. Let's take a look at an intraday chart here for a moment. Let's take a look of what the Dow did ever since it started this morning. Now, you see, at first it was going down, but here's something, as I said, it hasn't happened in 4 weeks. Here's what happened over the past few weeks. Every Monday morning, we were going limit down. And I did a video about the limit moves here. So, you know what these limit moves means. They're circuit breakers. So whenever we go down 7%, the markets are being halted for 15 minutes. Today was the first Monday in 4 weeks where that didn't happen, where markets participants are like, eh. And as you can see, this morning we were steadily going up, chopping around, and here is right now in the last 30 minutes going into the close. This is what we are seeing here. So that's what's happening in the Dow. Now, today also crude oil is getting crushed. Crude oil is at 17-year lows. As you can see, crude oil trading at $20 right now, has been trading as low as $19.27, so dipped below the $20 mark. Now, what does this mean? Now, for crude oil, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of the little ticker here now. Let's do this. All right, how's that? Looking at my computer here, let's move this a little bit out of the way. There we go. All right. However, if you're missing the ticker, if you love it and you want me to bring it back, you just let me know. This is the show for you. Okay, so what does it mean? Crude oil right now at lows that we haven't seen in 17 years. Here's what's happened. All the oil-producing countries, they're storing crude oil right now because nobody wants crude oil. The demand is down for crude oil. No surprise. I mean, planes are not flying anymore, as you know. I mean, Here in the US, we have the travel restrictions that no planes from Europe can basically come over. Nobody can travel from Europe into the US. Here within the US, travel is restricted, so there's not a lot of going on. So planes are not using fuel. What about us? You and I, we are confined to stay at home. The stay in shelter place is in fact more and more states, and therefore cars are not being used. Production is shut down, and this is where a lot of these oil right now is just not being used. And so it's being stockpiled, and at some point it will come back into the market, but there is simply no demand. Anyhow, a few stocks also that stuck out for today before we then move on, look at my positions and look at indicators because that's what you're interested in. Let's take a look at some of the stock positions or some of the stocks that I noticed today. One of them being Boeing. So Boeing, a Dow stock that we have been trading, as you know, last week is today down 7.7%. So while the market overall is going up 2.5%, Boeing is down. Another Ford also down, surprisingly here. Ford, and then, of course, the cruise lines are still being hammered. We talked about cruise lines last week. So Carnival Cruise down 13% here. Royal Caribbean down 7%. What is it? Norwegian. Let me just, can remember the symbol. There it is. NCLH also down 12%. So down. Now, the really, really surprising thing is what will tell us what's happening this week. There's the volatility index. The volatility index, the VIX for short. And as you can see, it is still at very, very, very high levels. Now, usually when the market is going up, this is when the VIX, the volatility index, is going down. But as you can see, usually normal levels are here between 15 and 20. We're still at 60, and this is just telling us that we still have a very volatile week ahead of us. Now, this week, notably, on Thursday, we have the unemployment rate coming out again, or not the unemployment rate, the weekly unemployment claims. Last week it was skyrocketing to 3.2 million. I believe for this week they expect 5 million. So this might send another shock through the system, or the markets are shrugging it off like, whatever. But as you can see, if the volatility index, the VIX, is that high, it still means that there's a lot of volatility expected by market participants. Anyhow, another thing that happened today is that we finally have all three indicators that we're going to talk about in just a moment. There we go. Are signaling us the market might actually go higher. So there is some hope. Are we out of the woods yet? I don't think so. I think that we will see another test, at least to the 20,000 level, maybe even to the 19,000 level. So I believe that there's still room that we go down before we continue to go up. But let's wait and see, because as you know, I like to trade what I see, not what I think. Cheers. All right. Good. So yeah, if you want, here are the positions. So on Friday, I had quite a few options expiring profitably. So this is good. So here is how my positions are doing for today. So up for the day, $526. That's not bad at all. One of the things that I did this morning with my mastermind group, so we entered a new position here. We sold a USO April 3rd put, a put that expires this Friday, and we got a quarter for it. So we sold, how many did we sell? Can't remember, 20 or 30? 20, right. So that is looking good, already in the green, and that's what I like when everything is green. So as you can see, unrealized $1,700, and this was a $25,000 account that I started trading less than 2 weeks ago, right now at $31,000. So this is all going well. All right, good. Let's get this out of the way, and let me actually address a few things. Now, as you know, I've set up this website, which is called askmarkus.com. When you go to askmarkus.com, you will see all the questions that other people asked, and you can type in your own questions. So here I see that we already have 108 questions. I love it. So this gives us plenty of things to talk about this week, next week, over the next few days. Now, you can also upvote a question when you see here, when you can say like, like up here, right? So this way I know this is a question that many of you are super interested in and want me to cover. So I will prepare for this and cover this first. So one of the things that it seems a lot of you are interested in is if I can review Rob Booker's course that he offered last Thursday with Marquet Latimer. I believe that is the right pronunciation of her name. If not, sorry, Marquet, for butchering your last name. So here's what I did. I made sure that I get access to this morning. I haven't had a chance to look into it in detail, but I promise probably tomorrow we can do a review where I show you what is it all about, what will you find in the members area, who is Marquet, if you don't know yet. So I will have this prepared for you for tomorrow. Okay, somebody else is asking. So again, this is what we're doing tomorrow. Somebody else is asking about the mastermind program. Oops. Let me just highlight this here. I should be able to do this. Come on. Yes, there we go. Okay. Just following up on the mastermind program, we have talked about it this week. I'm trading live with our mastermind in the mornings where we place the trade. So one of the trades that we did this morning was USO. Now I know that many of you have been interested in this, and this is where I say if you're interested in the mastermind program, look at this. I need to move a little bit out of the way. Call or text Lisa from my team. So Lisa Woods will be happy to help you. So 512-858-8523. You can call or text her or email her at lisa@rockwelltrading.com. Don't want to really spend a lot of time right now talking about it. For those of you who are interested, contact Lisa. She will help you, give you some more information what this is all about, how you can become part of my private client group, the people who I personally trade with and who are following along, the people that Mark and I are personally mentoring. So if you think that this is something that is interesting to you, call or text Lisa at 512-858-8523. If you could also put this in the chat right now, because then I can get rid of this. This way everybody still has the number in the chat. So if somebody could please put this in the chat, I would really appreciate it. Okay. So let's come back to the screen here. So the third most frequently asked questions or upvoted questions that many of you are interested in is, James, for example, is asking, how can you trust your indicators when the market is artificially manipulated by the government agencies? KW is asking about the indicators and say, by the time the three indicators are predicting a downturn, the stock has already lost a lot of value. What am I missing and how to use them correctly? Then we had also questions from Mark here. And Mark's question was, am I right in thinking that PowerX is not reliable in this ultra volatile market right now when the market whipsaws up and down unexpectedly? So we will talk about this. And I believe that there were quite a few more questions around the indicators. So we bundle them all together here today. We'll talk about the indicators. Okay, so I have prepared a really very short, brief 4-slide slideshow. So what I want to do, bloop, bloop, bloop. That was a little bit too big. There we go. How's this? Let's talk about trading with indicators, because that is something that you're very interested in. Now, first of all, what are indicators? If you're new to trading, you might have never heard about indicators. So indicators are these squiggly lines that you see on the chart, and I'm going to show them to you in just a moment. Indicators are a different view to look at stock prices. Indicators, for me personally, make it easier to see trends, and very, very important, you need to know this. Indicators cannot predict where the market is going. They can just tell you what is more likely to happen. So that is very important. We'll keep talking about this in just a moment. You need to understand no indicator. I mean, I've been trading for more than 20 years. I know pretty much every single indicator that is out there. I've been trading with indicators for a long, long, long time. And I have not found a single indicator that can predict the market. However, it can put the odds in your favor by telling you what is more likely to happen. So what are the advantages of indicators? And here's the good news for you. We are already 2 or 3 slides into my 4th slide presentation, because we're going to want to jump on the charts here right away so that you see exactly how to use them. So what are the advantages of indicators? First of all, and this is my favorite, they are based on science, because indicators use statistical analysis to, again, say what is more likely to happen, not to predict what's going to happen. Secondly, they are super objective, and this is what I like about it. See, you don't have to interpret anything because they are black and white. In a moment, we'll talk about indicators like the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. And either it is above 50 or it is below 50. There is no room for interpretation like, maybe it's like this or maybe it's that. No, very clean, black and white. What I love about it, indicators, there's no experience needed. I know that you might actually be new to trading and you say, you know what, it's really interesting right now. Market has been crashing. It keeps bouncing up right now. So when should I buy? When should I sell? And if you're new to trading, this is perfect for you. So that's advantage number 5. It is perfect for beginners. Now, let's also talk about the disadvantages of indicators. Number 1, they lag, meaning that they cannot predict what's going to happen. With indicators, you will not be able to define turning points in the market, and we'll show you exactly what I mean by this. So that is one of the disadvantages. There's no second one, no third one, no fourth one, no fifth one. I mean, this is a beautiful thing. You have 5 advantages of indicators and only 1 disadvantage. That's why I like them. So what do indicators do? They help you to trade what you see, not what you think. So this is where, for me personally, they put the odds in your favor. All right, so what do you say? Shall we dive right in and talk about indicators that I show you how to set up my charts? If you find this helpful thus far, let me just come back to you full screen. Then do me a favor, click on like, click on like, and show me that you're enjoying this video, that we are going at the right pace here, because right now I want to jump to the charts because there's not much more to talk about when it comes to indicators. So let me show you how to set up indicators. And again, if you're enjoying the show thus far, click on like, really appreciate it. Also, feel free to share this video with anybody who might find this helpful. And let's get started. So I'm going to disappear for a moment so that you see the indicators really here on the screen. Good. So you see that I have 3 indicators. These are the squiggly lines right below the screen. So the squiggly lines, the first one is the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. Now the Relative Strength Index measures how strong a trend is. And here's how I like to use it. Whenever it is above 50, it means that prices are more likely to go up. When it is below 50, it is more likely for prices to go down. Okay. So then we have a second indicator, that is the one in the middle here, the, what is it, an orange line, red-orange line, which is the stochastics. And the stochastics, again, it's a squiggly line, and here's what it does. Whenever it is below 50, it is indicating that the market is more likely to go down. And when it goes above 50, it means that the market is more likely to go up. Okay, making sense thus far? So far, so good? All right. So now we look at the third indicator, and the third indicator is the MACD, the Moving Average Convergence Divergence. Now here you see, I'm making this a little bit bigger, that you actually have 2 squiggly lines. So instead of having just 1 squiggly line, now there are 2 squiggly lines. And whenever we see that the MACD, which is the purple line, is below the orange line, it means that the market is more likely to go down. And if the purple line goes above the orange line, it is more likely for a market to go up. Now here's how I like to use them. And now I'm going to come back to you on the screen because I like to talk to you person one-on-one. Okay. So right now you see, where is the RSI? It shows the value on the right. I'm zooming in a little bit to make it a little bit easier for you. So what is the value of the RSI? 53. So it is above 50, meaning that the RSI is telling us the market is more likely to go up. Now, one indicator can give you wrong signals, and there is no best indicator out there. Trust me, I've tried them all. For me, the best indicator is a combination of indicators. So I have the first indicator confirming, hey, this market is more likely to go up. Now we have the second indicator, which is the stochastics, at 51, telling me, hey, there's the indicator number 2 that is saying it is more likely to go up. And now we have the third one, the MACD, and the MACD also says, hey, I am above the signal line, purple line is above orange, so it is more likely for the market to go up. And that's what I see here. Now, let's take a look at these indicators. When you look at these indicators, when was the first day in this downtrend that we just had? When was the first time that we saw all 3 indicators pointing to a possibly lower moving market? Right here. I'm actually going to use this arrow here. Oops. There we go. Right here. This was the first day. And you see, correctly, these indicators have not predicted, but said it is more likely for the market to go down. Now, if you've been following this here for a while, you know that recently we also looked at Fibonacci. And when we looked at Fibonacci retracements, we said, you know what? As long as we are below the 0.5, it could be that it is more likely for the market to go down. So this is why you see, yes, it has been pointing to a very, very, very strong downtrend. Now, this is where somebody said earlier, who exactly said it? Your questions were really, really good. Okay, here we go. KW, appreciate your comments. By the time the 3 indicators predicting a downturn, the stock has already lost a lot of value. What am I missing? That's the point. You're not missing anything. You will not be able to capture tops and bottoms. What I like to do is capture a trend in between. Do you see you have plenty of room in between here? Let me show you a few other examples. In fact, actually, I want to show it to you on my software, the PowerX Optimizer, because here's what I did. Instead of looking at the squiggly lines here, I wanted to keep this easy. And for any stock, let's say Apple, instead of looking at the squiggly lines, here's what I did. When all 3 indicators were saying it's more likely for the stock to go up, I'm coloring the bars in green. And when all 3 indicators say it is more likely for the market to go down, then it is coloring them in red. So for me, it makes it super easy, because this way, I'm going to zoom in here on Apple a little bit. You see, it caught the move from Apple saying, hey, you know what? Apple is more likely to go up when it was at 228 to all the way to 269. Now, this is when it looked like it is more likely for Apple to go just sideways. And here's the beautiful thing. As a trader, you know, commission-free trading since October 2019. Brokers are no longer charging a commission. I wouldn't want to hold on to a stock that is now more likely to go sideways. You can always go back in. And you see, from 279 all the way up to 321, the indicator said, now we are more likely in an uptrend. So, again, a couple of things. You will not be able to identify bottoms and tops. And it doesn't matter, because if you can catch a trend from 228 to 269, I mean, this is like a $40 move. You can make good money in the markets. And you see also here, yes, it identified the trend a little bit later, but if you look at this, let's just scroll out. It identified it going down from 300 to 220. That's not bad at all. Let's take a look at another example here. So TSLA, Tesla. I mean, recently, as you know, Tesla was skyrocketing. Let's just zoom in here a little bit. Tesla was skyrocketing from 300 all the way up to 1,000. So here you see, the indicators told you at 381, it's more likely for Tesla to go up. For how long? Look at this. From 380 all the way up to, what is it here? 838. So I think that's pretty good. Yeah, don't get greedy trying to get the top. I mean, if you can get a good chunk out of the middle, you'll be just fine. Is this making sense thus far of why I love indicators? Again, indicators have limitations, but for me, they help me to objectively trade what I see, not what I think. And I'm going to take a look at your questions here in just a moment. Just wanted to show you pretty much what I do, what I'm looking at. All right. So let's see if we can answer some of your questions. And while I'm doing it, I'll probably have more examples coming up here. Okay, good. So Catherine said, yes, I will be putting together a class for option trading. Yes, I will be doing this. It will be a free class, or I might actually do it in one of the Coffee with Markus live here. So do me a favor right now. If this is your first time watching this video, subscribe to this channel. There's a little subscribe button right underneath this video, because this way YouTube will notify whenever I release a new video or I go live, so you don't miss any of the videos. There's a little notification bell. You got to click on the notification bell, because when you do, you see a pop-up somewhere in your stream, or you get an email from YouTube saying, hey, Markus has posted a new video. So even if you missed the live video, then you can at least watch the recording. So do that now. Okay. Good. Brent says, can you speak to iron condors and other option plays? Brent, do me a favor. Go to askmarkus.com. When you do, you can type in your question there, because it's a more complex question. I'm really happy to prepare a few things from this. So we want to start with options 101, and then we can work our way up to more complicated strategy. Okay. By the way, so Dust Exotic says, would love to attend the free option class. If you go to rockwelltrading.com/options, I believe that's the URL. You can say, I'm interested, no obligation. All you do is you give me your email so that I can email you whenever I have a date and time for it. Think about maybe doing it sometime later this week. We'll see. All right. Good. Jeff said, I already hit the like button. Really appreciate it. And if you haven't hit the like button yet, right now is a good time. Good, perfect. So let's see if we have some very specific questions about the indicators. Now, Neophytus here says, what about crude oil? What do you think when it will go up? I believe that it can go lower. So here's the point. You see, I don't talk about what I think or what I believe. This is where trade what you see, not what you think. So let's take a look at the indicators, shall we? So I just want to switch back to the charting software. My gosh, look at this, the Dow going up. Hold on one second. Before we look at the indicators, I just want to look at 5 minutes. We are at the highs of the day. So it seems that markets are rallying into the close, which might mean that tomorrow we might see a follow through. And if you look at the daily chart here, this is actually good news. We have had quite a few days where we're going up. And again, right now, the indicators is showing me, yes, it is more likely for the market to go up. But let's answer your question. Let's take a look at crude oil. So what do you see here right now? You know the three indicators. So let me ask you, because you asked a great question. Let me bring the question in here. So the question is, what about crude oil? Do you think it'll go up? What do you see with the RSI? Where is it? Above 50 or below 50? It's below 50, right? What about the stochastics? Above 50 or below 50? Below 50. What about here? Is the MACD above or below the orange line? Hard to see, right? It is below. Let me just tell you. I know this because you can look at the values here. So based on this, we don't seem to have found a bottom in crude oil just yet. Now we might, but right now, the indicators are telling me it is more likely for the market to go down. See this, Neophytus, why I like indicators, it takes the guesswork out of it. Because whenever I think I know what's going to happen, it usually doesn't. So that's why I like to rely on indicators here. Good. And yeah, Jess says, oil briefly going below 20 was nuts. I absolutely agree. Oops, wrong comment here. There we go. Okay, good. Let's see. Want to make sure that I'm not missing any of the questions. Okay, Jeff is asking, I'm new to this, and my question is, how can I get good trades using my phone? Here's the deal. I personally like to use a larger device like an iPad or a computer to bring up the chart. You can place the trades over the phone, but I would like to see on a larger device, where's the RSI, where's the MACD. But if you want, there is plenty of opportunities where you can get charts on your phone. I'm just probably getting too old. I'm already 50 years old, right? I mean, I turned 50 a few months ago in November, and the phones are getting really small for me. So I would recommend look at the charts on a larger screen, and then you can place the trades here. Okay, good. So Praful is asking, what do you think about the stock safe? Hey, you know what? Let's practice the indicators, shall we? Do you want to do this together? What do you think? Would that be fun to do it together? Let's do this. Let's take a look at the indicators together. So we are bringing up safe. I wonder what the safe is. Safe hold. Okay. So, wow, look at this. Look at this. You see that the RSI is above 50. You see that the stochastics is above 50. You see that the MACD is above the purple line. So it seems it is more likely for this stock to move higher. Now, personally, I also see that there's some resistance right here, which is probably at, what is it, like the 67 mark? Yeah, but based on the indicators, more likely to go up. By the way, do you see how beautifully, I might have to get out of the way here for a second, how beautifully these indicators predicted the up move from $40 to $55? That is not bad at all, okay? So, what do these guys do? I don't even know. I don't know what SAFE is doing. Don't know, don't need to know, right? Because this is why I like to rely on the indicators here to keep things easy. Is this making sense? Is this helpful? Coming back to your full screen here. Praful. Good. Okay. So let's see. There is, with regards to oil, why is Marathon Petroleum all the way up and Apache way down? Well, you see, this where it depends of how much it costs them to get oil out of the ground and how lean their structure is. But again, who cares? I mean, what you do is use the three indicators, right? Trade what you see, not what you think. That's how we're having coffee together. See the way how this mug is made? By the way, you can get it through our website. If you would like to have a cup like this, you can have it. I think it's like $9 or something like this. So I've made it this way that whenever you're holding it and you're right-handed, I'm right-handed, that I see all of this and I'm being reminded all the time. It's standing like this on my desk. If the team can post a link, I think it's Rockwell Trading /store, rockwelltrading.com/store. If you would like to have a mark like this, it's like $9 or $10 or I don't know. Okay. Good. All right. So, Alvaro said what I said earlier. I don't understand why the VXX, the VIX, doesn't go down if the Dow climbs. Well, because market participants are still expecting a wild ride this week, and that's what I'm expecting too. All right. If you bring the ticker back, make it smaller and less distracting. I could try to do that. Yeah, let me know what you think about the ticker. I kind of liked it. I thought it was cool, but then he said you don't like it. And all right, if you don't like it, you don't like it. Change the background from red. Okay, Jim says thumbs up for the ticker. I'll do this. I'll change it and then we'll do it again. All right, so let's take a look if we can get some questions. Okay. How do you get two indicators viewing on TradingView? Okay, so let's talk about TradingView here, very particularly. So if you go to TradingView, you see right up, where is it? Here. What are the indicators? I think that's it. Yeah, this little symbol here shows the indicator. So if you want to bring up an indicator, that's an alarm. Yeah, all you need to do is basically push this little button. There it is. It's the F. Okay, it's like function because it's all statistical science, right? And then you can choose out of these hundreds of indicators. It's unbelievable how many indicators are there. So you just plot the one that you want. And again, I'm using the RSI, the stochastics, and the MACD. And you can just see, I'm just randomly picking one. And when you do, it's being displayed here at the bottom. I'm now removing it because I don't need it. Don't need the advanced decline, but it's super easy. All right. Good. So let's see. I'm going back to see if I can answer more of your questions around the indicators, because that's what we say. We wanted to focus on indicators here today. So, okay. Lorena, absolutely right, says indicators help you to trade what you see, not what you think. All right, Henry's asking a follow-up question on the option. Were you assigned? No, I was not assigned. The option expired basically worthless, so I could keep the premium, which was really, really good. Like this, enjoyed that. Okay. So there's a lot of questions and I really appreciate it, but I want to focus on the indicators because that's what we said we wanted to do. Now, Rob says commissions are free in the US, not in Canada. I want to say not yet. I understand, not yet, right? In other parts of the world also, not yet. But I think eventually it'll come. Okay. Steve is asking, can we get or purchase your PowerX Optimizer software? Absolutely. If you go to powerxoptimizer.com, you'll see more information about this. So it's super easy. If you Google PowerX Optimizer, it's probably one of the first things that come up. I set up a website for it. It's powerxoptimizer.com. You can take a look at this. Or if you're really interested, you can schedule a demo with Paul, who is one of my students, who has been with me for almost 2 years. Right. So if you would like to talk to Paul and have a one-on-one demo of what the software can do for you, we'll be happy to organize this. The team will post a link of how to get this demo. If you're interested, it's free. So just check it out. Usually the software, it is an expensive software. It is an investment. Usually the software is, I believe it's $4,000 or $5,000, but we do have specials regularly. So check with the team if we have a special right now, if you're interested in this. Good. Okay. So Michael is asking, now we're going to the question. Is the value of the RSI set at 7? Yes, I like to use a setting of 7. I like to look back the last 7 days for the RSI. That's what I like to do here. Okay, good question. So Ahmad is asking, what does the indicator tell you? Can you buy the S&P 500? Well, can't really buy the S&P 500. You could buy the SPX, right, which is the index. But let's take a look at the S&P. It looks like it is more likely to go up. However, right now, volatile market conditions, so you might want to stay away from this for another few days until we really know what's going on here and what is happening. Okay, good. Lynne is asking a really great question. On your optimizer, do you jump in on the first green line or wait on a couple of green lines? I want to jump in as soon as I see all 3 indicators confirming it. So on the first, we call this line a bar. It's this technical mumbo jumbo, right? So whenever you see the first green bar, that's when you want to jump in. Yeah, we actually wait until it takes out the previous day's high. I'll explain this in another video because I also wanted to make sure that these videos are staying around 45 minutes or less because I wanted to have a coffee together, and after 45 minutes, my coffee is cold. All right. Good. So, KW is asking, what are good settings for the indicators? Excellent question. Why don't I show you? Why don't I show you exactly what I use as a setting for the indicators? So I need to disappear so that you see it. For the RSI, I like to use a value of 7. For the stochastics, I like to use a value of 14, 3, and 3. And for the MACD, I like to use 12, 26, and 9. By the way, if you would like to have a more detailed video about this, I have a website for you. Gosh, I have too many websites, right? This website is called mytradingroutine.com. When you go to the website mytradingroutine.com, that's where you see everything in more detail. But KW, I hope that this helps. These are the settings of the indicators. Good. All right. Let's see. Jeff says, I don't have a larger screen than your phone. I think then you have a disadvantage, to be honest. I mean, maybe your eyes are much better, but for me, it's hard to see stuff on my phone. I mean, especially if you look at charts. I mean, of course, I can read texts and emails, right? But when it comes to charts, yeah, okay. Luan is asking a great question. Can the three indicators manipulate it? No, and here's why. The indicators are derived from the price action. So, for example, the RSI looks back over the value of the last 7 days, and they cannot be manipulated. They are scientific. They're based on statistical analysis. The markets, yeah, I do believe markets can be manipulated. Stocks can be manipulated, yes, but not the indicators. That's what I love about it. The indicators are objective, right? I mean, the indicators, you can mess around with them. But really, really great question. All right. Jeff's asking, do I make them for left-handed people? I don't know. I need to check with the team if we can make them in left-handed. Great question. That is an excellent question. Yeah, then it would always show it to somebody else. We'll see what we can do. Good. All right. Steve says, ticker not red. Black might be great. Okay. I just want to make sure that we are... Thanks for all the great comments here. What parameters should I put in for the indicators? As said, RSI 7, the stochastics 14, 3 and 3, and then for the MACD 12, 26 and 9. Okay. So, yes, I see Raful is asking this. Kathy said, what are the settings? We talked about this. Steve says, based on the indicators, do we trade instantly what we see? I personally do. That's how I trade. Because whenever I start thinking, I start overthinking. And when I overthink, I suffer from analysis paralysis. Has this ever happened to you? That you had a great idea, but then you were wondering, should I trade or should I not trade? Should I push the button or not? And, well, this is why I like to keep it easy. I like to keep it simple, and I really don't overthink it. All right. Good. So there's a great question. How would a parabolic stop and reverse fit into these indicators to predict price? Again, I don't think that price can be predicted. I mean, based on what I've seen working with indicators for more than 20 years, it tells you what is more likely to happen. And I think that's good enough because there's no certainty in the market. There's none, seriously. You're playing the odds. That's the important thing. You want to have more winning trades than losing trades. Or if you have the exact amount of winning trades and losing trades, you want to make sure that you make more money on the winning trades than you lose on the losing trades. So in another Coffee with Markus, we'll talk about the exits. Right now, we talk mainly about the entries using indicators, right? So, but money is made and lost when you exit the market. See, this is what they say, a monkey can enter the market. Money is made and lost when you exit. So we'll talk about this as well. Ken is asking, are you going to do more live trades during Coffee with Markus? If something comes up, I mean, this week, I don't know, because I'm doing a lot of live trading this week with my mastermind, Ken. So that's what I'm doing in the morning. We start 30 minutes before the markets open and then go for approximately 2 hours where we look for trading opportunities. So this week, most of my trades are already being placed in the morning. But if I see something, I'll throw in a trade. But don't expect this. I mean, this is not what the Coffee with Markus are for. These Coffee with Markus, they have 3 very specific purposes. First of all, I want to tell you what's happening in the market, and I want to do it unbiased based on what I see, not what I think. Secondly, I want to show you that trading can be simple. I want to show you the way how I personally trade. And especially if you're new to trading, I hope that you find this helpful, that you get an idea of what trading is all about. And third, and this for me is the most important one, I want to show you that trading is nothing magic. And it doesn't mean that money is magically being deposited in your account. You will have winning trades. You will have losing trades. So here in this Coffee with Markus, it's all about keeping it real. We'll talk about winners. We'll talk about losses. I'm not telling you right now that, oh my gosh, if you use these 3 indicators, you will always make money, because it's not true. You will have losing trades. The key is to keep your losses small and ride your winning trades. But I also want to show you what I personally do, because I hope that this helps you. And if you're enjoying this and if you're liking this, make sure that you like this video. And again, feel free to share this video with anybody who might find this helpful. And in order to make sure that you're not missing any of my videos, subscribe. subscribe to the channel, hit the little notification bell, because this way you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. All right, so one more thing before we wrap it up here, because we're getting close to the 45-minute mark. Last week I talked about the books. So this strategy, the PowerX strategy, is based on these 3 indicators. So in this book here, I show you many examples of how to use the indicators, right? When to buy, when to sell, all of this. It's a book that I've written, which is perfect for beginners. Now, I told you, on Amazon, you can get it on Amazon for $24.90. That's how much it costs on Amazon. But if you would like to have a copy, I'll be happy to send you one for free. All I'm asking is that you cover shipping and handling, which is $4.95. Now, here's the deal. When I mentioned this last week, so many of you said, oh my gosh, I want to have a book, that all the books that we had printed have already sold out. I do believe we get the next batch in towards the mid of April. So if you want to have this book as quickly as we get it, go get it now. There's probably a link, or my team can post a link here, or you can go to my website, rockwelltrading.com. Again, I'll be happy to ship you a free copy of this book. See, it's really easy to read. It's 160 pages. So if you would like to do this, get it now. But again, it might be a few weeks before we can ship it to you. However, when you're getting it right now, I think we're doing something special for you. Don't know quite what. Anyhow, it's $4.95. Just cover shipping and handling, and we're good. All right. That's what I had for you today. So I wanted to tell you today of what's happening in the markets, and we were going up again. I wanted to show you the indicators that I personally use and how to use them. I want to give you the settings and how they can help me to trade what I see, not what I think. If you find this helpful, please feel free to share it with anybody. Leave a comment if you would so. Or just say that you're enjoying this, because this way, love seeing all the comments, and I try to respond to as many of the comments as I can. And if you have any question for me, now let's bring this ticker back for a moment. Where do I have this? There we go. All right, and I'll make sure that in the future it's not red, it's something else. Anyhow, if you have any questions for me, go to askmarkus.com. I actually have this written somewhere else. There we go. Ugh. Seems that I like red. Go to askmarkus.com. This is where you see all the questions that others ask. You can either ask your own question or upvote another question and say, yes, I would like Markus to cover this. Why do I talk about myself in the third person? Anyhow, I would like you to cover this, and I will look at this, and then I'll see you again tomorrow. So right now, as the markets are as crazy as they are, we're doing this Coffee with Markus live. I'm really enjoying it, hanging out with you, and I hope that you're enjoying watching this video as much as I enjoy doing it for you. See you again tomorrow. Until then, take care. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home. Okay, bye.